MIBR and Santos are not directly fighting for anything today in the BR6, but Santos gets to decide MIBR's fate in a way. In the first round, MIBR won 7-1, but Santos beat Black Dragons 7-2 and took important points away from the Dragons. In the second round, Black Dragons' 8-6 win over Santos ended up giving Dragons a spot in the Elite 6 and leaving MIBR out in the cold. Santos may be the ones to again decide the future of MIBR or Black Dragons. And SDK knows this well. On Twitter, he remembered that once again our team decides who will get the 6th spot in the Elite 6.
Contra a MIBR vai ser no estilo da NiP, aí vai ser um jogo adaptativo, ainda mais porque eles fizeram um bootcamp lá fora, eles vão estar trazendo coisa nova, então não tem como a gente jogar de uma maneira robô. Acho que a gente tem que adaptar bem o jogo, entender o que eles estão fazendo, onde é que eles estão fracos, onde é que eles estão fortes.
Eles trocaram de line agora, então a gente tem que estudar como é que eles vão estar. Seguindo o estilo de jogo que eles vêm tendo há muito tempo, se a gente entrar no jogo com a mesma cabeça, é vitória pra gente.
MIBR also beat Santos in the second round, 8-6, with Felipox playing on controller.
Só tem Hunter vivo! Olha a vitória do MIBR!
Foi um jogo mais tranquilo ali, eu acho que a nossa única vitória tá aí no split. Foi um jogo mais punitivo da nossa parte, a gente sabia tudo o que fazer, se preparou bem.
Não era um mapa forte nosso, tão forte. Tinha muitas brechas que eles aproveitaram bem e a gente não conseguiu concluir muito o mapa e tomamos um 7-2.
At stake for MIBR, the chance to qualify for the Elite 6. For Santos, the chance to escape relegation.
Pra gente não cair pra esse relegation, a gente fez uma mudança crucial nesse terceiro split. A gente mudou um pouco a nossa pool, a gente melhorou ela, no caso, porque a gente tinha alguns mapas que não eram tão bons.
Place your bets. Will Santos keep them out in the cold once again? Or will MIBR stand tall when the dust has settled? Watch next as MIBR take on Santos.
So it mentioned it there in the video, Ollie. Santos are going to be that deciding factor, or could be the deciding factor for who makes it through between MIBR and Black Dragons. Obviously, MIBR did pick themselves up some points early, but Black Dragons did exactly the same. So sadly tonight, MIBR not going to be able to confirm themselves a spot in the Copra Elite 6, but they can sure get some more points towards it.
Yeah, I think it's back down to requiring 5 points again. And that could be a trend that continues. But obviously, MIBR in with a chance here at being able to put that back to only needing 2 if they're able to get a regulation win now against Santos, which by all accounts, they should be able to do, Chunks.
They should, shouldn't they? I mean, look, Demo, Santos are a team that they've shown signs of life, haven't they? They started off the season really well. However, towards the middle of the stage, things got rocky. They've mentioned in the past that when they're up against these big name teams, the teams that everyone sees as kind of some of the biggest, not only in the BR6, but the world, they don't really have that pressure. Do you think that that will kind of go to their favor against MIBR tonight?
Potentially, but then again, I think this is a scary MIBR that we're dealing with here today, Chunks. I mean, this is a team that we've seen dismantle Furia, who we all rated very, very highly, and they got just dismantled by MIBR. And like I said, whenever MIBR, they're up against it, and they know that they need to dig in and just get this win, they'll do that.
Yep, well, let's take a look over at the map. Veto, Ollie, you can maybe run us through what your thought process is behind it, where these teams are maybe going to try and push it.
I reckon we could end up literally anywhere aside from a chalet. I think that Santos will probably try and avoid a chalet there. There it is. The chalet ban comes through. Bank removed as well. Villa and Oregon removed by MIBR. Coastline still in the picture, and it will, in fact, be a coast. This is not really too much of a surprise. We started off the stage on a lot of coasts, so it makes sense that we'd want to end with a fair bit of coastline as well. Clubhouse being available there. Obviously, MIBR have already played Clubhouse once today. So maybe the thought process was from Santos that they were going to try and get a Clubhouse again, but MIBR making that decision. And look how seriously they're taking it. Hitting that pre-game huddle. They need to be focused coming into this one. They really impressed me in game one of the day. It isn't often inside of the BR6 that we do get to see teams play twice in one play day. It usually is in and around the Super Week where one team just has to catch up. But from what we saw from MIBR this morning, or this afternoon, sorry, should I say, it's enthused me to watch them again here because I reckon they're going to storm through this one.
Yeah, I mean, they've been looking really strong tonight so far, Demo. They still have one more match to go. Can they carry that momentum over, I think, is the big question on a lot of people's lips right now.
100%. 100% they can. In terms of Coastline, this is... I always feel as if it's sketchy because the strat book goes out the window and it's just all down to who kills on the day. And, you know, like Ollie alluded to earlier, it's all about who shows up on the day. And who knows, Santos, they could rock up and every single one of them could be just on top of their game. And they could drop so many kills. You know, we could have 2 people sitting on 16 kills. That is a possibility. In terms of Coastline, we haven't seen Santos play Coastline this season. We did see MIBR play it back in week 1 where they beat Int 7-4 on Coastline. So there is something that we can go off. But in terms of Santos, I have no idea what to expect in this map today, Chunks.
No, I think this is going to be an interesting one, Ollie, because when you look at the wins that MIBR have gotten so far, it's against teams like FaZe, the losses that they've taken is against like FaZe, Liquid, Team 1, teams that are at the peak of the peak of Siege at the moment, it feels like. Whereas they do really well against the teams that, well, maybe obviously are a bit weaker and lower down the leaderboard. Santos almost exactly the opposite, where they're a team that they shine when they're against a team that are up at the top. They don't have the pressure. I think it's going to be an interesting match to watch, Ollie.
Quite possibly. You know, you mentioned there about the pressure, and Santos, they're going to be feeling the pressure here today, but they deal with it in very weird and wonderful ways, and they are capable. I think one of the more notable things about Santos, especially on Coastline, is that they were able to take down Liquid last stage. That was a real big sort of swing for me, so really could go anywhere, Chunks.
It absolutely could, but we know exactly where we're going. It's over to Coastline for a final match of the evening. Once again, Ollie, Demo, take it away.
Thank you, Chunks. Here we are, almost at the end of day 1 out of our Super Weekend. MIBR for the second time today. Santos, are they going to be enough to stand in their way? Head over to Coastline, a map that we haven't seen since the start of the stage, at least not all too often. Had a little bit of time to mature. It's had a bit of time to develop and stew, Demo. It's been a fairly popular choice given its slight retouchings.
Yep.
The Maverick ban, I think, really sort of speaks to that as well. Would you agree that VIP wall?
I mean, when would you ever see a Maverick ban on Coastline?
It's crazy.
You'd never. And yeah, I think Penthouse Theater has been a massive overhaul in Coastline and kind of how it's changed this map entirely. I think, who was it that we spoke to MIBR, wasn't we? We spoke to Bodega, and he was talking about, you know, Penthouse Theater, how it's, you know, now the bomb site to go. You know, everyone and their grandmother is playing this bomb site. And I think that Maverick just shows how powerful it can be. I mean, what's the point of the map ban if Thatcher's still open? That's what I kind of think.
I don't get it, I'll be honest with you. Obviously, you get the nades, and there's potentially a sort of attraction to playing Maverick for multiple players on either side, really. You know, I can see MIBR, they do really like to run the Maverick. But realistically, with so many other options available, and for it seemingly only being brought for one specific purpose, it just seems quite niche from Santos. I mean, then again, they're starting off on the attack, so they can do whatever they like, really. Attacker bans have never been pressured on this map.
I am interested to see what's the kind of mentality for Santos going into this game. Santos have, as we know, very little kind of to play for, don't they, Ollie, going into this. This is them just to see how well they can do and finish off the season. There's a lot more riding on this for MIBR. There's 2 different mentalities. 100% 2 different mentalities from both sides. I wonder if Santos are going to just try some new stuff. You know, stuff that maybe we're not expecting. Or are they going to try and play hectic? Try and play absolutely crazy, that I'm sitting here just with an open mouth thinking, what am I watching? Who knows what they're going to do, because Santos have been a bit of a mysterious figure going into this this split, Ollie, where they've looked amazing. They've looked like Titan killers. And then there's sometimes where they look, you know, a rookie team. It's a bit of a hit or miss, I feel.
It really can be. Really can be. And it kind of depends again as, you know, as who shows up on the day. If STK starts to have a really good game, it can be a big problem. He's a similar player to Herds in that's the level of impact you can expect from STK. I think Herds is maybe a slight bit more consistent with it. I might be about to eat my words here, as that is a beautiful nade coming in from STK, able to shut down Reduct, thrown just onto the lip of the hatch that was already open, and obviously timed to perfection so that it would detonate exactly at the right time. Takes Reduct down.
It's a good start from Santos. Nades very potent, as we know, on Coastline, and I mean, well, even after they're bringing 6 of them, you're bound to get at least 1 kill. Still have...
You'd be worried if you didn't.
I would be as well, and they still had 3 more, but now they only have 2. Only have 1 now. And they have 0 nades. All of them off the board. Rax has been able to swing in. Lucan finds another at MIBR after losing that first kill. All they have went on the rampage.
They really have. They've just said not today, and poor old Rise is left out in the cold. It is a consistent theme and something that you maybe want to get used to if you plan on watching a lot of Santos play, is that Rise will consistently be the last player alive. Regularly plays on the Nomad role, so often caught watching those flanks, sometimes just a little bit further out of the action than ideal. Certainly the case inside of that round. We didn't really get to see all too much that was going on. It was just MIBR had an angle and a line on every single attacker that was peeking in, despite the fact they'd lost opening blood demo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a real mentality check from MIBR, because usually we would see teams, if they lose the first pick, they kind of take a step back. But MIBR just took 2 steps forward, haven't they? They've not shied away. They've charged at them almost, knowing that they're a man down. They don't care. They don't care. And they still pick up the kills, and they win it. So 1-0 for MIBR. That is 1 round out of 7 that they need to win this matchup and keep themselves ahead, of course, their fiercest rivals right now in Black Dragons.
Santos need to dust themselves off. Get prepared to attack into... You really got to feel for Santos in that last round. Honestly, with the way that nade kill started, I was like, it's on, sort of thing. You know, I was like, that is one of the best nades I've seen all stage. And this is what Santos are sort of kicking off with. You know, you think about this map as in general, and we've spoken already tonight how it can be an attack-sided map, and we've drawn correlations for, between it and Chalet, but with the changes, it really has sort of mixed things up a little bit. Cons, an aggressive push on through, gets himself through the Aruni gate. Nade's getting flown out as well. Opening kill going to Santos again here. This time immediately traded, but the trades will continue. 3-3 as Rise is now looking to push himself into Kitchen as well. Another nade going to land from STK. He's very effective with those so far today. Rise, he's taken out as Fleepox hits a triple. Player that's really popping off this stage. Can't make that rotation into blue though, so instead it's going to get caught out. MIBR don't have site control here, but Santos also don't have the diffuser. They need to try and recover it if they're going to look to force MIBR to make that rotation back on in. A lot of open lines of sight here to be played with. Reduct makes the rotation perfectly timed. Yeah. Takes down Hunter. STK now in the clutch. He's not been able to trade off the back of that. Say again he has. Goes for the swing onto Reduct, but doesn't have the info. Fleepox, however, does. Pre-fires here, pre-fires there. Chunks him down by half. STK, can he make this land? Brilliant. Yes, he can. Great shot there over onto Fleepox. Bides his time perfectly. What a swing!
Yeah, active information, being able to play off his team. You can see him looking over to the monitors and being able to see exactly what his teammates are looking at is a great thing, and a real added bonus right there for him. But just an all-out war ollie within the first minute was just unbelievable. And I thought MIBR were about to get the better end of the stick. A great rotation being made by the Vigil into bathroom, but STK had active information, must have been a drone somewhere, And that was it. That was the issue for MIBR. Just that one bit of information was enough to kill that round for them. So 1-1. 2 very, very quick rounds, Ollie, already. Wow, this is going to be a quick coastline. I can feel it. I feel as if this map could go to max OT and it would still feel like a quick game.
Yeah, I think you're right. It doesn't matter how many rounds we're going to see, because we're only going to see sort of 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of each of the rounds, because they are just going by at a lightning pace. And I think it speaks to the aggression that Santos want to try and bring to this. You know, MIBR, they need to be sort of careful and cognizant of that. They've already played a game today. They're going to be capable of playing more than one game in a day. Don't get me wrong, but Santos, if they're going to bring that aggressive play style, that was one of the things that did them so well in the previous stage against Liquid. I think back to one of their last games of Stage 2. Santos were able to take down Liquid on this very map, albeit before the changes and, you know, old Liquid, as it were. But they're still a team that are capable, and especially if they're going to start bringing that aggression. A player like SCK, already, what have we seen? 3 rounds and 3 nade kills, something like that?
It has been an all-out war, definitely. So, we move on to Kitchen once again, and see what MIBR really want to do. You can see the game plan from Santos, and that is to hit you with every bit of utility that you have, really emphasizing the grenades that you can utilize on Coastline. But MIBR, I think, in fear of that, you know, we're seeing the Wamai. The fact that we're also not seeing Jaeger, I would have thought they'd double down. If you look at the lineup of Santos, you would bring Jaeger and Wamai 100%, but they've only chosen just the one. Finka, that's an operator that I would love to kind of talk about a little bit more, Ollie. It's been such a strong operator right now in the meta. You have 2 nades and a Gon 6. Very similar to Iana, especially whenever Iana has been a subject of certain target bans currently in the meta for certain players who just love that operator. Fink has kind of been a go-to secondary pick for a lot of people as well, because they're kind of the same. You bring them for the utility in the Gon 6 and the nade, and you still have a fairly good gun to actually entry with. So, you know, there's definitely added bonuses to bringing the Finka these days.
I think Finka players are doing God's work as well, because they're taking a bit of the heat off Iana players. And they're taking a bit of heat off Iana, because we all know that Iana is next in line for a nerf. So a little bit of Finka starts to get played, and all of a sudden that conversation just starts to dilute and disappear a little bit somewhat. Opening kill in this round goes in favor of MIBR. Reduct takes down Hunter. Grenades there that won't be seeing much use. Lucid. We've not really got to see too much of MIBR so far because of the rounds being so quick. We haven't got to see where they really want to start playing. Lucid, a player that's renowned for that roam and lurk game, could be in position to do some significant damage. He's inside of Aquarium at the minute. He's got the hatch open to drop into Office if required. Reduct playing below, in position to assist him. 35 seconds. Things have really slowed down here, Demo.
Yeah, indeed, and it looks as if Vigil's going to try and dodge those drones as best as he can. Another one gets fired in, and that will see him, I believe. So they do know the position of the Vigil. We see a down. Raps is on the floor now. A flashbang being tossed in. It will blind Reduct and straight into the open arms of MGN. Great work, like you said, Ollie, from the players of Santos to really eliminate Lucid. There's the flank. Finds one. Can he find the second? Pink is right there. The ping comes in, but it doesn't matter. The diffuser's going to be called. One lines up. Almost lines the second, but Philippe Pox is there to clean it up. Lucid hits him where it hurts, Ollie.
Mentioned it. Said it at the time. Lucid, dangerous player to give any time and space to. And he had exactly those two things. All the time in the world. All the space that he needed to operate. And he had information. He knew that the Finker had pushed on through. We could see the red ping come out. It would have been a confused call, or maybe an intentional decision to just wait a second just to see what else is going to happen and really start to put that pressure onto Santos. Without Lucid there, MIBR would have been in tatters, but they were able to get the job done regardless. Slow rounds aren't going to be the way to go here against MIBR, because that is where they are most dangerous, especially on the defense if you've not been able to round them all up in a roam clear. Now we will switch over to top floor now.
this bomb site as of yet, Ollie, and this is where we're kind of also seeing a bit of a shift to this bomb site as well. 9 times out of 10, you would see anyone who would play this bomb site, Ollie, they would always just reinforce off the two VIP walls in the corridor, and that would be it. Now, with the added change to VIP and the fact that we now have the double reinforced walls being shifted over to the DJ deck, we now see a lot more extensions in towards the VIP. So you actually have now a more viable way of doing an offsite hold on a top floor defense, which never really existed. This was always a bomb site, Ollie, that I felt was very claustrophobic. We've seen defenders have to sit in a corner, and it was very easy to pre-fire where your positions, nade your positions, anything really. As long as you have that information, you know where they're going to be. Now with this extension, it just gives them breathing room more than anything. It just gives you another area that you can hold, and you're not going to feel too choked up on whenever things do start getting opened up.
Not a lot going to be opened in this round, as there's no hard breach for Santos. Leapox has been downed early doors. Unsure if anyone's in position to finish him off or if he will be picked up there. MIBR have been able to revive. Of course, Leapox comes back on only 20 health. Santos happy just to take that little bit of chip damage and roll with it for the time being. They need to come up with a plan here, though, as they haven't got that hard breach. They are going to be missing out on a couple of options. By no means impossible to do, but funneling yourself through single doorways and staircases, never going to be ideal. And you're going to be met with shotguns, just the same as the Ayana clone was there on Cool Vibe.
Sunrise, no surprise to see an Ayana in that position. Nate from below is ever potent, as we know. He can definitely do a lot of damage, and Luka gets eliminated. The slide down, repelling finger gets absolutely picked by Felipox. My oh my, was that a Mozzie cam that spotted it, or was that the default cam? What was that? Where did that ping come from, Ollie?
Unsure. Felipox is back from the grave and doing damage there. I think Santos, if they'd have known, they'd have downed him and maybe would have looked to try and finish him off, because he's causing havoc here and now. Redux is down MGN despite being stunned and suffering the effects of the Zephyr stun. Luka has fallen, but MIBR don't look too concerned. Only 35 seconds left to carry on. It seems as though as soon as we start talking about these rounds being quick, they really start to use every second possible. MIBR holding positions. They really don't need to move. The onus is on Santos here to make something happen. STK, he's downstairs. He's playing Ring Around the Rosie with, I believe it's going to be Redux there, as he is going to be able to take him down and secure the kill, but he's miles away with only 10 seconds left. Something needs to happen here, and it will start. Rise, he's able to open up one onto Raps, immediately shuts on down. STK, is he going to pay for the frag that he was able to achieve earlier? Looks for the flick, but doesn't have the time, doesn't have the information. Second time now that we've seen Santos running out of it.
Yeah, time always going to be on the side of the defenders, of course, and, well, I think Santos felt that full force. And MIBR looks as if they're going to go straight to that penthouse and theater now. Ollie is where we head to. Clash also making an appearance. Santos haven't really changed up their loadout at all. I mean, we're seeing a Twitch now come in, but I mean, Twitch and Coastline, is that a shock to us, Ollie? Is that a surprise? And not really, because the F2 is just a great weapon in general, and Coastline, where it's a map that, again, you don't need a hard breacher. Maybe for this bomb site, though, you might, but generically, you don't need a hard breach. You can free yourself up for these other picks that maybe we're not used to seeing. On the topic of hard breachers, they don't have one, and they're attacking into a penthouse and fear. Santos will struggle with this.
Santos are being a little bit stubborn here, aren't they, Demo? That lack of a hard breach, you know, it's sort of a talking point that we've covered many times. Yes, you do not need to bring a hard breacher to old Coastline, but new Coastline, you kind of need one. There's not really any two ways about it, and I think MIBR have recognized that, and they've gone, these guys aren't bringing a hard breach. We need to try and exploit this as much as possible. And by going into Penthouse and Theatre, by playing the mirror windows, they can do just exactly that. There's very few chances, really, for Santos to get themselves in here. It's not even like they bring in the secondary hard breach guy. They're not even looking to bring the little tin opener. So I really worry about this lineup, honestly.
It's going to be a rough one for them. I mean, if they are hell-bent on getting their kills, then fair enough, but you have to land your shots if you want to do that. It's not always a guarantee, Ollie. You're going to be guaranteed to get the wall open if you bring the hard breach here. You're not always been guaranteed to kill these roamers, and I think with the addition of the mute to really shut down the drone work, which realistically, Ollie, that is the only thing Santos can really rely on, is their drone work. If they can't even rely on that, they're walking in blind to 1v1 gunfights. That's it's not a viable plan. We see a lot of teams, especially younger teams, newer teams who are, you know, in tier 3, tier 4. You can see the difference between them and tier 1 teams, that they take these challenges where they don't have info. They think that they can just win these gunfights on a whim. But you get punished by it. And right now it feels as if Santos, they're having that same mentality where, oh, we don't need hard breach, oh, we don't need this drones, we're going to take these gunfights. And look what's happened. They've lost that opening pick again.
Yeah, lost Hunter, lost a couple of nades, and lost the majority of the soft breach as well. That it was going to be that valuable, but it would have been something. Even a book to try and disrupt and use that vertical would have been something to be working from. It's also kind of strange to see Santos ban the Maverick and recognise that a hard breacher is worth banning and then choose not to play one themselves. Are they going to be able to make it count? Nade comes through under the cover of a Finker Stim, but even that is not going to be enough. Cons still hits the deck. Luca takes down STK. MGM looking to push on through. He's going to have info here. So do MIBR. They know where the diffuser is. They know that they've got it down inside of Hookah. MGM trying to push on through, but again, you can see this lack of information starting to show. Not a lot of drones available. Cons moves in now for pickup and to secure that diffuser. Patient play from MIBR, recognising the time, understanding how much is left, and knowing they don't need to rush to confirm that downed player. They can just retreat a little bit further. Redux, what an angle and what a shot onto MGM. You only need to land a couple of bullets onto Rise, and he'll do just exactly that. 3 kills on the round. Can he make it 4? Cons is being chunked. Takes down Lukid. 12 seconds left. Redux aggressing on through. Maybe starts to think better of it now, but eventually lands his shots. Raps gave the game away as he sacrificed himself there for the good of the intel, but MIBR get the job done regardless.
Yeah, Redux. I felt like Owen Wilson there for a minute, Ollie, just saying wow every single time he gets the kill, but for good reason. Unreal stuff from him. And this is now where Santos, they've hit a wall. They're not winning their engagements. They're not structured. They're loose. They're all over the place. And I really don't know where they're going to go from here. 4-1 down. Keep in mind, Ollie, this is Coastline. Attacker-sided map. They've won 1 attack out of 5.
Yeah. I mean, at what point can we categorize attackers as attackers, Demo? I reckon we should come up with a new sort of qualification. To be an attacking team, you have to bring a hard breacher.
But it's Coastline.
A hard breacher would help him here.
It would. Fair play.
Redux, I tell you what, Redux isn't sitting inside a VIP and picking up kills for free if there's a hard breach. Like, no, sir. There's no push coming in through the hooker door, the hooker balcony, without opening up the wall on either side of the door, whichever's reinforced, if there isn't a hard breach. There's a lot of things that could be done here by Santos. And they really need to start coming up with some ideas, and they need to come up with them very quickly. This is their last round on the attack. We can see that everybody aside from STK is locked into an operator, and none of them are a hard breacher. I really doubt that we're going to see STK bust out the Ace or the Hibana.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's in his remit as a resident Iana sort of Nook player.
I mean, even if they don't want to bring a hard breach, there is still hard breach gadgets. And there are operators that could be definitely viable for them. If they want to. I think of Buck. very, very valuable for Coastline. Has a hard breach gadget. You look at Ying. If you really want to go crazy, Ying has a hard breach gadget. But then again, would you really want to trade off? I think, was it Smoke she has still? So there is pros and cons, but there's definitely options for them. Sadly, they're not bringing any operators with hard breach gadgets. Maybe next season, whenever we're seeing the 2 hard breach gadgets.
2 hard breach. That's going to change the game.
You saying it here now? That's a statement.
Quite possibly, yeah. It'll be nice to see other lineups work as well, though. There'll be a lot to do. You know, you think if you're a Capitão and you've got 2 hard breach gadgets to use, you're going to be a busy boy.
You're the support.
You're going to be a busy Capitão.
Oh, think of Souls.
Really, he'll love it. He'll rise to the occasion.
Wow. He would actually be very, very nasty. Because then he is a 2 hard breach. He has a Capitão, which is already a bit of a signature up of his, so...
Maybe it's going to be a support meta. Just like all rise the supports. It's time for you to dominate the scores and the stat lines.
They don't never ever bash a support player in terms of aim. You look at Hot and Cold.
Oh,
Hot and Cold stuck in hard support for 4 years. Guy is right now one of the best players in the world, if not the best. Just how he's playing Siege, unbelievable.
Bit of a rush here. Rise is going to capitalize on it. STK and Rise back to back there. Looking to very quickly deal with Philippox inside of Office, and they do just exactly that. STK was in the middle of a reload. I doubt that he actually knew that he was still there, but it was Rise. They're really checking the corner, realizing that, yes, in fact, there is still a player there. We've seen this opening pick go to Santos multiple times now, and they've not always been able to capitalize on it, so it doesn't mean too much just yet, but they have been able to remove Philippox. By far and away, the shining light on MIBR at the minute. Perhaps under pressure, tanks a nade on the other side of the reinforced wall. He's going to be conscious about all sorts of angles here, though, and he hasn't got a great deal to peek on.
It's a bit of a tricky one for him to definitely play around, but at the moment still not really afraid. But that drone, though, that's something that can give himself away. Reduct swings in, eliminates Hunter, cannot eliminate STK, though. So back in control for Santos it will be. How is STK not dead? That was a full mic being dumped into him and he's still alive. My oh my. Lukid finds one above and see what he can do. Wow, I had the double take there, Ollie.
It even looked like he ragdolled. I thought that he died and it hadn't come up in the kill feed because it looked like his body had like... I mean, just how many bullets were going into it.
I heard a full magazine hit a body, so I don't know what was happening there. But anyway, he's still alive. Somehow he's still alive. A minute to go. It's still in the range of a clutch for MIBR, but Santos, all they have to do is really group up and don't take these one-on-one fights, which has been pretty much all they've been doing this game. All it has been these one-on-one fights. One more Toxic Babe, though, is what they have to go through. But with 45 seconds, that's more than enough time. Luca drops down. Finds nobody. Doesn't exactly know where STK is, and he's trying to look for him. STK just biding his time inside of lobby and waiting for this moment. Luca not aware that STK was there and fouls. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. A nade gets tossed in along with an air jab. Somehow does a bit of a shimmy and gets the down onto the Iana. Oh, almost
that was close.
Rise, but just not there for him. Unfortunate. Santos, they will capitalize on the early aggression, constantly keeping that man advantage. Santos, a bit of a fight back. 4-2 the split as we go into the second half.
I'd like to see that frame by frame slowed down because I reckon that was a very, very close sort of hip fire into aim down sights onto Rise. There can't have been that much in it. It wasn't a bad flick by any stretch of the imagination. Luke had got a little bit more fortunate on his timing as well. It was on the table there for MIBR to make something happen. Finally, we do see STK and really what he's capable of there inside of that round. I've no idea how he lived for as long as he did. You know, we sort of commented on it at the time. It was an ungodly amount of bullets that went into him from the SMG. And sure, it was at range, but it really looked quite peppered. I think we're maybe going to have a little bit of a replay and just see what we can sort of glean from that last round. Oh, we have got it actually. Fouls. It just looks so close. It looks like it was such a close opportunity. Just not quite, though. Anyway, sides have switched. Santos onto the defense here. What are they able to demonstrate for us? MIBR, can they stretch this lead a little bit further? 4-2, it's a good split, especially given that they were on the defense. Now we get to see them on the attack. MIBR waste no time, immediately coming at us with that Hibana hard breach, which, I'll be honest, we were expecting for every round of this game. And already giving themselves an easier time of things, Demo.
Yeah, definitely. Just in terms of how Coastline kind of plays out, Ollie, MIBR will come into this and they'll know exactly what they want to do. I would say the fact that we're seeing Coastline means that their attacks has to be pretty solid. You know, like we mentioned, the attacking is what it's... Oh, almost had the run out. That was scary there for Files. Just a bouncing the top of his head, but was able to rappel down. Oh, and there's the run out again. That is so unfortunate. Oh, things you just... That is like an image that makes you feel pain.
It really is. It's something that you hate to see.
Just nomaded, the guy ran out. Oh dear. To be fair though, they have managed to pull back a kill and also been able to down onto STK, so it's definitely doable here for MIBR. Oh, Reduct, this has to be a big gunfight he needs to win against Cons, but does he know he's on the stairs already? No, he doesn't, and he gets annihilated. Cons being able to shut down Reduct, and now 2 versus 4. MIBR already, the first round has really slipped away from them.
Yeah, I don't think we were expecting it to go as quickly toward Santos here, but MIBR have found themselves in a pretty tough spot. Lukid, is he going to be able to claw any back here? You already see with the way that Santos are peeking this, that they don't want to give too much up. Say that, and Hunter will happily give himself up there to Lukid. Minute left. 1 kill to find to level up Felipox. Could this be his second sneaky plant of the day? It's certainly drawn out the defenders a little bit, and Felipox is able to capitalize. Takes down Cons. He's going to be thinking about a plant again here, seeing if he's got any information available for him, but no, Rise is in there with the action, takes him down. STK picking up Lukid as well. Santos hanging on there and not getting baited out too soon.
I have a feeling I might have known why Felipox might have died there. I think that a nade was tossed, and do you know the way sometimes you throw a nade, some of the shrapnel would deal like a little bit of destructible damage in the wall? And I think that's what the Jaeger killed him through. That's a bit of a rough one. That is a bit of a rough one. Almost being able to clutch that round out for MIBR, but nope, Santos able to hold it firm. I mean, Santos just roaming everywhere. Everywhere. I'm surprised that MIBR didn't clock that earlier.
MIBR need to be careful here. Santos are that scrappy team that can start to chain rounds. Especially if they get themselves that momentum, you know. Which they've clearly got. They've clearly still got that drive and that want to get the win here. Santos as well. I'm not sure with the result that we had earlier, W7M. Obviously, it's going to have widened the gap, and the probability of Santos being relegated is going to be even less now. But I think there will still be a very small probability that happens. So Santos still need to come out swinging. They still need to finish strong here. If only for their own mental and to know that they're going to be going into the Copa do Brasil with their best chance of coming out with a good result and something that they're happy with.
Go now. Moving on to round number 8 on Coastline. Santos only 1 round away from tying things up. And we go straight to Hooker now. MIBR, are they going to try and approach the VIP side? Because, I mean, they have the hard breach, they have the Hibana, they have a Thatcher as well, so mute jammers or bandit charges that may be on the wall, not going to be an issue. But the way they've kind of spawned and the way they've set up, it doesn't look to be the case. There's only 1 guy on site that I can see. Surely they're not going to rush. Okay, never mind. We're seeing a couple of people now move up back through cool vibes. I think this is maybe where they were thinking, hold on a minute. They might be going for a rush here, guys. Get back upstairs as quick as you can. And thankfully, Santos, they have done that. It was looking sketchy for a minute there.
Cons is going to be full white, but he shouldn't be too concerned. Playing at the top of ours, his position should be fairly solid, although Fleapox is going to start to open up a line of sight in onto him. Gets a view of the barrel of the gun, sees the kneecap, but doesn't take the shot. Instead, struggles to re-find the angle, and we can see that Cons is just going to be playing a little bit further back now, not looking to give himself away. Caraspel is actually being shot off there as well, so that could be somebody maybe inside of Billiards or even below that's able to do that. I doubt below, given that there's a drone there that's going to be calling out any information. Cons does shut down Redux, so still successful in this endeavor. It's actually Cons is going to be shooting the majority of them off, just making that little short rotation from the top of the stairs into the hookah. But what a grenade from Lukin. Landed to perfection, and it almost sort of followed Cons around there, just getting redder as he got further away from it, it felt. Hunter now retakes that position, as that's where a lot of this pressure is being applied here by MIBR.
Oh, the C4 misses though from Rise. Lukin finds one on SDK, and this is where I think MIBR have the momentum in their favor for this round. All they need to do is check out a couple more positions, find out where the remaining players are, and they can really hit them hard where it counts. That double window repel though, Ollie, that is the issue. I think Hunter might be looking to rotate below and try and eliminate that man, because, let's be honest, Raps in this position only can shut down anyone he wants to try and cross over and deny the plant. Hunter, he tried his best, but he will be shut down from below, and MGN, he knows what he's up against. The double window repel is there, and MIBR just going to shut them all down. Eventually they will eliminate fouls, but that's it for Lukin. He will find the remaining kill this round, and MIBR win another. They keep their hopes alive.
Well, MIBR, they managed to pull one out on the attack. It was a very well orchestrated execute in toward Hookah and Billiards. Didn't take more than they needed to take, and didn't give too much away. Big round from Lukin, 3 kills. 1 round away from a match point. 2 rounds away from tying it up. Don't forget, they still need 5 points this weekend to guarantee that spot inside of the Copa Elite 6. They got 3 earlier today. However, so did Black Dragons. It puts them back to needing a full 5. So not only do they need to be getting wins, but they really need to be getting regulation time wins. Now, there's plenty of time for that to happen. 2-round advantage here. It's going to be fairly substantial lead to let slip. They've got to continue to keep that foot on the gas. They cannot give up an inch. They can't give Santos any opportunity. See how they approach round number 9.
Penthouse Theatre, and this shouldn't be an issue, because, as you can see from MIBR, Ollie, they are bringing actual support operators to deal with this bomb site. It's not going to be like Santos, where they're going to try and just kill them from hookah. This is going to be well orchestrated. MIBR can easily open up that wall. Kite isn't going to be an issue. Factors on the board. We have the Havana. This is what I think we wanted from Santos, wasn't it? This is the Santos that we should have seen.
It is, and it's nice that we're getting to see it at this point, at least. Still got the alibi thrown in there.
And one thing as well for Santos, like, Santos have looked, you know, kind of hit or miss. We've mentioned that before, but I mean, if they really want to be known as, you know, these world beaters, you know, this is MIBR you're staring at, a massive team. Well, because maybe MIBR had a shakier stage 2, had a couple of issues here or there at this stage, but still MIBR. Look where they place in the world, Ollie. 3rd place team in the world still.
You really can't take that away from them, you know, injuries aside, and the fact that they've not been able to be as consistent as they would like. You don't really take away from the fact that they're still a very accomplished team. Redux really flexing his angles here, as I really couldn't see all too much through that. I'll be honest, I'm sure that he can, but the angle is very narrow indeed.
Do you want me to throw you my glasses?
Yeah, I think I need some glasses, you know. It might be time.
Get the glasses. God, I'm actually picturing you now with glasses, I think. Oh, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it, Ollie. I'm looking at it. I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure if Redux got the kill through that angle, but he's certainly still on that rappel. It will have been a skinny shot nonetheless. Cons, what are you doing? Real question here, Cons. What is going on there? Explain that thought process, please. You've just seen Rise die. Redux picked 2 up off the rappel so far. Are we really at the point of just walking out and handing them over?
Santos have been the more aggressive side of the two. That is a definite case to make. I think Santos, looking at how they played in the attack, very, very aggressive, in your face, looking to get kills, all the kills within inside a minute. On defense, they know they're up against the wall, and they've tried to almost play like FaZe, where we know FaZe can do some questionable decisions, but it works for them. They've kind of tried that as well, but they've just been completely punished. You look at the Furia game, MIBR just sat and waited for Furia to play into them. Aggression doesn't really work against MIBR. MIBR sit and let you destroy yourselves from the inside. And unfortunate for Santos, they've fallen right into that trap. Now you're sitting at a 3 versus 5, with 20 seconds still to go. Full control of nearly everything right now for MIBR. It's only a matter of time before you fall.
Yeah, good luck with the Shotgun Hunter, because you are really going to need it. Finds one, is taken down. STK moving through VIP. 1 versus 3. Only a few seconds left. Redux in with that final kill. What a day Redux had, Demo. He really popped off in our opener when MIBR played against Furia. Dominated the opening kill statistic. And in this game as well, is now really fragging out for his team. Seems to have come out of nowhere, because so far this stage, it's almost been the Philippox show. He's been the highest rated player on MIBR. He's really put a shift in, given that he's coming in off the back of an injury and showing, yep, he is fighting fit and ready to play. And then this weekend, it's just, well, today, should I say, has just really been the Redux show.
It has indeed. I mean, Redux stepped up to the mark. Massively stepped up to the mark, and I'm very, very impressed, as I'm sure you are, of course, Ollie, with how he's playing. And again, it's just MIBR, this is them at their best. This is them at their best right now, Ollie. There were a couple of misses during the season where we thought, okay, maybe they're not all that we kind of thought them to be. Look at their loss against Liquid. Look at their loss against Team 1. Those are their big rivals that you would expect to see them really challenge, but they couldn't. Look at FaZe. Couldn't challenge FaZe either. But right now, they're doing it against Santos. Obviously, we've seen them do it against Fury, which was a massive win. I'm now looking at that Fury win, Ollie, and that was huge from them. Imagine what MIBR would be like if they lost to Fury, especially with Black Dragons beating Liquid.
Oh.
All hands on deck.
It isn't worth bearing thinking about at this point, is it? You know, you just think that... Because Santos would come in now, knowing the team that Santos are, and they'd get the win. Yeah. If that situation had
they'd scrape a victory somehow, some way.
They'd get it over the line because they knew what the ramifications and what the impact of was it. But that's all hypothetical in here and now. Pressure is really on. Santos, a team that when they are put under that pressure, do have a strange tendency to just throw caution to the wind and say, right, we're going to go for this. And they will play fairly aggressively. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was a fairly short round, and it was short because of Santos, because they try to aggressively bring the fight to MIBR in a desperate attempt to push things back. And already you can kind of see it happening. Hunter takes fouls down on the rappel. What a shot.
He got hit from the Aqua balcony run out. He got hit from the luggage window run out, and then he's just been barricade bind through the office double door. I feel sorry for Fouls in that scenario. Guy didn't stand a chance. Santos have just went, you know what, let's just go and run at them. Let's do anything we can just to annoy them. And Santos have done that. Now they're sitting in a 3 versus 5, and MIBR don't really know what they want to do. They've lost their Nomad. They don't have any flank protection now, which is going to be terrible for them, because Santos, like we just mentioned, will just run around and do anything they can to ruin you.
The momentum really with Santos now. It's by no means a must-win round for MIBR, but they want to try and tie this one up. Fighting at 2-man deficit here. Still plenty of time. There's a minute left. They can start to try and single some of these players out. With the way that Santos are playing, they're not really giving too many options away. They're all fairly dug into their positions. MGN going to start to expend some Toxic Babe canisters on that sauna entrance. Felipox may be going for a rotation. Vertical angles can now be pressured by Raps. Missing out on that flank watch and that flank protection in the air jabs is going to certainly be something that plays in the back of MIBR's mind here. How many seconds can Raps spend opening up these vertical angles before he has to push down, before he has to make some sort of a challenge? Lucan and Felipox, they are going to be the immediate beachhead, picking up a kill apiece. Done something to level things up, but there's still 20 seconds left. Santos don't have to hold on for too long here, Demo.
Yeah, they don't, but then again, I think Santos are in great positions. STK really didn't need to move, and Lucan still eliminates Rise. I thought Rise was in the prime position to shut down everything that MIBR were looking to do inside a lobby. Do they have the cover, though? Yes, they do! MIBR with an immaculate 3 versus 5 turnaround. That is phenomenal from MIBR and really shows their character that round. MIBR cleaning things up, 7 rounds to 3. Very, very well earned. And it gets them just even more in the lead now in that race for the 6th position for the finals next week.
Well, we saved the best until last. You can see just exactly what that means to MIBR and the team. They're going to be chuffed to bits with that one. A massive round to close things out. A very significant clutch. 2 wins on the day. 2 regulation wins on the day. That now confirms them inside of the Copa Elites. No, it doesn't confirm them inside of the Copa Elite 6. I was right. We do need 5 points from MIBR. Never listen to Simon. Simon will ruin a winning moment given any opportunity. MIBR, they are able to take that one. It puts them one step closer to locking in that Copa Elite 6 spot. They still need 2 points to confirm it, but it's going to go a long way. And they're going to be thrilled. Demo, probably the best round that we've seen all day. Question mark for that last one?
I would say so. I think that was just beautiful to see. I thought the positionings of Santos in that scenario were great. I thought the fact they had one guy in lobby that realistically couldn't have been touched because the other 2 players were set up in a position to deny anyone swinging him. But then they just swung, and I think that was the case for Santos today. Is they just swung everything they could, but as soon as they swung, they got punched in the face. Chunks. What do you think? A lot of punches in the face today.
Yep, heavy blows all around. It definitely felt like really impressive game coming out there, though, from MIBR. And look, I know producer Simon was wrong and got you to think that they qualified all the way to Copa Elite 6. Are we used to it off of him by now? But no, they are close, though. They are close. It's 2 points right now for them to confirm their spot in Copa Elite 6. So it's going to be a tricky one, Ollie, because you've got to think they have a day off tomorrow. And then their next match is on Sunday against NIP.
Yeah, and we all know what NIP can do when they need to, when their back is against the wall. Now, that is a tournament side that we often do talk about. So it's not home and dry yet for MIBR, but they put a big showing in today. They couldn't have done more today themselves, and I think that's the big takeaway.
Absolutely, and Demo Santos as well, being able to put some serious rounds on the board. It was impressive to see. Fortunately, just not getting themselves the points. Once again, though, we do have Bodega from MIBR. 2nd time tonight and a 2nd win. He's got to be feeling good about himself. Bodega, how was that for you?
Hey, is that a record? Win 2 times the same day?
It's not happened since I've been here, I'll say that much. Very well done there.
Yeah, feeling good. Got a bit of coast, a bit of club. Great, feeling great.
Yeah, I mean, you have done an amazing job tonight. Back-to-back wins. You have a day off tomorrow, I believe, but then NIP on Sunday. Do you feel confident you can get those last 2 points to confirm yourself over in the Copa Elite 6? Because NIP are not an easy opponent, and there's still the potential that Black Dragons can pick up some more points.
Yeah, so the focus for today was to acquire confidence and to be strong and dominant. We were a bit shaky, I think, in the first 6 games. It was a rocky start for us. But I think now it's the turning point that we're going to get the objective that we want.
Eu acho
We want to get to the
que
major,
isso define um pouco o
and
que a
we were
gente está
gonna win
fazendo
again
desde o bootcamp. A gente
against
está se
LIP
entregando totalmente
on Sunday.
como time.
Sure of it.
Independente
I really like it because when we spoke to FaZe last game, cameraman was saying we take it game by game, we focus, and we don't really look at the bigger picture. But it's clear that you guys, as well as taking it game by game, you know where you almost belong. Do you feel confident that, you know, even though you had maybe a rocky start this stage, you can go to the major, you can put up a big performance?
Yes. I think that the pressure was always on us during this stage, mainly because the top 5 teams were so far ahead and they were playing very confidently. So it's a tough game. And on Elite 6, the pressure is going to be 50-50. And that's a much different game.
Look, I do want to talk about that game a little bit, though, because Santos, we've heard them mention a few times that when they come up against bigger teams like yourself, they don't feel as much pressure. They feel a little bit more confident and like they can get away with a bit more. Do you feel like, you know, the reasons they were swinging out wide, playing very aggressively at times, was that a big part of it? And how do you kind of counteract a squad that at times feels like, well, we may as well just go for it?
When playing against teams like Santos, on the attacks, they like to play very aggressive. They like to play a similar style that we used to play when we were back in T1. We know very much this type of play style, so it's basically a guessing game of the possibilities that they do based on the information we have on the round. So it was basically a guessing game for us. We read them by the book, and we got the open kills that we needed.
Well, very impressive to see you were able to stay 2 steps ahead. We're not going to see you tomorrow, but hopefully for your sake, we'll be seeing you on Sunday when you can confirm that Cobra Elite 6 placement. Bodega, thanks once again for joining us.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.